What is up, my frosty brethren? My name is Arctic. Today is Thursday, and we have some more Gears of War for discussion. Today, I actually wanted to talk about probably one of the more controversial parts of Gears of War in terms of just gameplay balance, and that is the melee. Now, the infamous Notorious two-piece is something that I think a lot of people have talked about, especially back on Gears 1, Gears 2, and then on Gears 3, not so much because, at the time, Epic did a pretty good job of balancing, I feel like, the melee so that it wasn't the automatic go-to move that a lot of people did in CQC versus just using their straight up using their shotgun. Now, I've been playing Destiny. I think a lot of people who played Halo know about the melee in that game. I feel like Bungie encourages melee, especially with something like Destiny, when you can make builds specifically for it. And I'm kind of wondering if certain games, at least when Gears comes out, are going to make people either more hostile towards it or less hostile towards it based on the trends that we're seeing in the industry itself. I don't necessarily know if there's going to be a lot of carryover from, Titanfall or Gears or I'm not Gears, Destiny or Halo into Gears of War when the game launches. But I'm wondering if that's going to like soften some people's opinions about it. I still feel like the very strong, very hardcore community is going to be pretty adamant about melee being a last resort option in CQC, which I completely agree with. I was not a big fan of the two-piece at high level, but I feel like it is something that I think a lot of people are thinking about. We got Gears Judgment, and the pace of the game was a little bit different. There was no down but not out. There was no in some cases, there's no option for people to, stun people out of their melees. It just didn't seem like it worked. So, in that game, the animation for the melee was, I think, sped up slightly. So once you hit someone and then melee them, that became the go-to automatic move again. Two-piece came back in Judgment because there was no delay. Because people, it seemed like, didn't get stunned. It's hard for me to remember if people got stunned or not whenever they tried it. So there was no like punishment, which I think was a big win for Gears of War 3, is because like if you tried to melee someone in that game, you were pretty much punished for it. So I feel like there was a lot of thought put into how you could make the melee, I guess, feel balanced, but not necessarily as a go-to resort in CQC when you have a shotgun in your hand. And I think a lot of people didn't like the idea of getting punched down as a mechanism for killing someone. I personally would love to see, I think, the melee not feel as useless as Gears of War 3, but definitely not as, I would say, blatantly abused as Judgment or Gears 1. Gears 2 wasn't as bad after a couple patches, but even still, there were some points of contention there throughout the game where two-piece was a reliable method. Now, what I'm wondering is if in Gears of War 4 we're going to see any glitches that we saw in the initial Gears of War, because it's going to be the first time that Black Tusk does this, where you can do things like melee wall bounce or things like that. I'm hoping that there's and again, they got people there. Fallout, don't let it happen, bruh. Don't let it happen. But on Gears of War 1, you could do things like wall bounce and melee at the same time. So as you're moving and you're running by someone, you actually can damage them, stun them, and then turn around while they're still stunned and shotgun them, all in pretty much one move. So I'm hoping things like that are at the top of Black Tusk's list in terms of making sure the balance is right when it comes out. Especially for very, very hot, contentious items like the shotgun or the rifle balance or the melee. So very interested to hear what you guys have to say about the melee. I want to see it be more effective. I feel like it wasn't used a lot in Gears of War 3, especially at a high level, but I do not want it to be abused, and I think that's a tough challenge. So very interested to hear what you guys have to say, and leave those comments down in the comment section. Until the next time, folks, I will catch you all later. Stay frosty. Well, you're here, made it this far. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. I really appreciate it. I think all of my brethren would appreciate it. Leave a like. Help spread the word. Subscribe if you've not already. And we have a lovely video right there. Check that on out.